the most unlikely outcomes of this Passover was the declaration that marijuana is kosher, well, at least medical marijuana, for Passover.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא מיני צומים.
This green vegetable before us.
Stew, don't you mean herb?
I always thought it was herb.
No, it's definitely herb.
So whether you're in Israel or here in Victoria, medical marijuana is kosher for Passover. Wanting to fight for your country and the safety of its people may seem a little odd to many of us here in Australia, but for young people in Israel, it's just normal life.
Are you going to be a combat soldier?
Yeah, of course. I have a gun and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of gun are you going to get?
I think it's M16. We're supposed to have it every day, every hours with us. So I hope everything will be okay.
Like you're never allowed to put the gun down?
No.
I was a police officer back in London.
Do you know where you're going to be stationed yet?
Not sure, they're the ones that decide all of that, but seeing as I've had a lot of experience in the dangerous areas in London, I'm sure when they see me in basic training and in advanced training, they'll know to put me in hopefully one of the harder areas.
Do you find that the immigrant soldiers are particularly passionate about being in the IDF?
Of course. They made a huge decision to move. Sometimes 6,000 miles away from the parents, from the home, leave everything behind.
They're passionate Zionists.
Exactly. Zionism, it's Zionism. It's their motivation. It's their personal journey to help Israel, to help themselves. And I think that we just need to thank you to those newly coming to Israel.
Now, I happen to believe that anti-Zionism is no different to anti-Semitism, but I understand there are many that disagree with me. Perhaps if they could listen to the vitriol spoken on the streets of Australia, or perhaps even here in London, they might understand why young Jews feel very strongly about protecting the land of their own.
It's just, obviously the Jews have been kicked out of a lot of countries, I just can't understand why. I've heard stories that, when in Germany that they're starting up businesses, trying to get in places of high power. And of course, if you're in a country, that's going to scare people, it's going to create a bit of hatred. In Germany, I heard they were told, don't go to shop at these shops, go to our shops and things like that.
Okay, so before I answer the question, can I ask you why you think Jews have been kicked out of so many countries?
That's what they are, they're all thieves. My opinion, it could be that for some reason they want to take control, maybe because they wanted their own land, I don't know, but I don't know.
On the basis of that, we're actually trying to take control of our own land. Well, I wonder why we'd want to do that, particularly after what? The Holocaust? May the 5th is a special date here in Victoria as we remember the Holocaust. And last year I recalled the story of Eva Moses, who is one of the most forgiving Holocaust victims we've come across.
One thing I learned, if two sides, two adversary groups, perpetrator and survivors meet, something good comes out of it.
Last year, Eva Moses decided to publicly forgive the Nazi who was accused of murdering 300,000 Jews.
Because I have forgiven the Nazis. The more I thought about it, the whole idea for me to appear in a German court, a survivor of Auschwitz, and bear witness to what I have experienced and what it can teach.
And what lessons are there for Eva and the Nazi Oskar Goering?
So I hope that maybe, one, I will learn a little bit more from somebody who was in Auschwitz, what he witnessed from the perspective of the Nazis. Two, that maybe he will understand a little bit more about what a survivor experienced. And three, that the German people, the young people in Germany, who have some sympathy or are involved in any neo-Nazi ideas, that they will think twice instead of wasting their life on a hateful idea.
Facing up to history in 1970, the then West German Chancellor Willy Brandt kneels to victims of World War II after laying a wreath commemorating the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. The actions shocked the country and the world. It was described at one stage as some sort of journey on a path to redemption, seeking a kind of forgiveness for Germany's conduct during the war. In August 2013, German Chancellor Angela Merkel visited the Memorial Hall of the Dachau concentration camp in Munich. This was a first visit by a post-war German leader. She said that Germany had a duty to continue a campaign against the ultra-right and anti-Semitism. But she also expressed her hope that this memorial would continue with future generations to come. No one should forget.
The memory of their fate fills me with deep sadness and with shame. At the same time, places such as the concentration camp memorial site at Dachau are a poignant reminder.
Germany's apology, it's not just words, it's also actions. There's a monument now to the Jewish Holocaust which has been built near the Brandenburg Gate. The country has paid some $89 billion to Israel and another €15 billion to survivors since the Second World War. Germany has sort of rebirthed itself with childhood education. According to the law, the atrocities of the Nazis cannot be excluded from the history curriculum. Germany has also worked with France and Poland in order to build trust. Nazism and racism are strictly forbidden in Germany. New Nazism and any statement denying the Holocaust are punished under the law.